American comedian and actor Groucho Marx once said that politics was the art of looking for trouble, finding it everywhere, diagnosing it incorrectly, and applying the wrong remedies. This sentiment could not hold truer given the current political landscape in Canada. The bipartisan political system that surrounds us in Canada essentially guarantees the certainty of power for one of two main political parties, either the Conservative Party of Canada or the Liberal Party of Canada, despite the illusion of having additional contestants in the arena. By combining the blind loyalty of party warhorses with the disenfranchisement of a large proportion of electors, we will continue to see an ad nauseum flip-flop from red to blue, blue to red, so on and so forth. Left-wing politics generally embrace change, sometimes solely for the sake of change. Leftist organizations often promote social equality, egalitarianism, nationalism, Keynesian economics, and the welfare state. Notably, the left wing promotes the abolition of the traditional social hierarchy and outdated institutions. Left-wing politics can include varying degrees of liberalism, social democracy, progressivism, and even communism, whereas right-wing politics traditionally resist change. Notably, the right wing maintains that certain social orders, hierarchies, and institutions are inevitable, and that people should embrace those facets rather than modifying or adapting them. Right-wing politics can include varying degrees of conservatism, classical liberalism, monarchism, fascism, and even racial superiority based on tradition. The Christian Heritage Party, headed by Rod Taylor, embraces an extreme version of traditional conservatism. They are deeply religious and use Christian scripture to promote their standpoints of being pro-life, anti-gay, opposed to euthanasia, and anti-immigration. They wish to uphold traditional social orders and institutions such as the nuclear family and traditional marriage. They propose to defund any programs that do not promote decency, morals, and family values. They wish to protect Canadians from being forced to commit acts that violate their personal convictions, such as abortions, euthanasia, or homosexual marriage. The National Citizens Alliance is a centre-right party led by Stephen J. Garvey. They embrace a number of traditional conservative views, such as being pro-life and restrictive of immigration, but also a number of liberal views, such as LGBTQ inclusivity. They promote the exclusion of immigrants and refugees who pose a cultural threat to Canada, but embrace the welcoming of educated or skilled immigrants who could offer a benefit to the country. They wish to prohibit the active marketing and exposure of children to the LGBTQ community within the education system and through communication channels. They also abhor political correctness and seek to prohibit the use of language or ideas to quote-unquote evade the truth. The People's Party of Canada was born of the failed Conservative Party leadership bid of Maxime Bernier. Although the PPC have yet to publish their complete platform, the revealed components do promote a progressive conservative ideology. They support the robust expansion of the oil and gas industry through the construction of new pipelines and seek to counter the propaganda of radical environmentalists. They seek to redefine the definition of hate speech to enshrine the rights of Canadians to express themselves freely, and to restrict funding to any educational or other institution that curtails those rights. They wish to restrict Canada's involvement in foreign conflicts and propose to withdraw from all United Nations commitments. They also wish to liberalize trade with other countries and drastically reduce the foreign aid commitments presently given by Canada. Sinclair McKnight Stevens was first elected as a member of the Progressive Conservative Party in 1972 and founded the Progressive Canadian Party in 2004. Since the death of Sinclair Stevens in 2016, Joe Huglin has led the party. He is also a former PC Member of Parliament. The party upholds a disposition to preserve what is good in the existing order, combined with an ability to improve. They claim to provide a political home for those who are comfortable with this balanced approach to tackling issues. They claim that they do not hold fast to the idealized benefits of past actions and that they will not rush into implementing untested theories. They support a single-tier healthcare system and seek to embrace the use of business within healthcare to reduce costs. They wish to bolster small business and the local economy by embracing the 100-mile challenge, encouraging people to buy products produced within a 100-mile radius of their home. They purport to implement a tax-based contingent reward system to reduce the burden of student debt by asking graduates to remain in Canada for a set period of time. The Rhinoceros Party is essentially a nonsense party, but they do fall on the left of the spectrum due to the radical changes they propose. Led by their quote-unquote supreme dealer, Sebastian Coe-Rhino, the party moves from registered to non-registered party status on the regular. They do not have a published platform for the 2019 federal election, but excerpts from their 2015 platform are indeed humorous. They propose such things as repealing the law of gravity, moving the Rocky Mountains to the Great Lakes to create an equally divided country, supporting higher education by building taller schools, and establishing a literal scratch ticket lottery for Senate seats. They want all Canadians, even toddlers, to be able to vote in elections so long as they can make an X on the ballot. They propose such things as privatizing the Queen and adding a cashier at the end of the black market. Hardiel Baines founded the Marxist-Leninist Party of Canada in 1970. Prohibited from using the communist name in 1974, they have since registered with Elections Canada as the Marxist-Leninist Party. The first secretary of the party is Anna DiCarlo. The party has very little published content resembling a platform, and their website is essentially comprised of a diatribe of anti-government and anti-Confederation sentiment. Their social media platform has slightly more content, primarily pledging to humanize the social and natural environment while affirming the rights of all. They wish to make Canada a zone for peace. They support North Korea's right to self-determination and are supportive of Cuba and the Cuban Revolution. Party members are very active in a number of trade unions, notably the Canadian Union of Postal Workers and the United Steelworkers of America. Historically, true communism and socialism embrace public ownership of the means of production and equal distribution of wealth for all citizens. It is indeed the antithesis of capitalism and private business. Founded by Mark Boris St. Maurice in the year 2000, the Marijuana Party is a single-issue party, solely concerned with the ending of prohibition of marijuana in Canada. Blair T. Longley leads the party, and they normally appear on ballots under the short name Radical Marijuana. They hold a status similar to independent candidates, with their electoral district associations decentralized from the party itself. The party does not have a constitution, a platform, bylaws, or a charter. In the last 19 years, the party has fielded candidates ranging from 2% to less than 0.01% of federal ridings. In years past, they garnered 0.052% of the popular vote, but in 2015 they dropped to an almost immeasurable level of public support. Despite their abysmal election numbers, perhaps the party could be viewed as the most successful in Canada. They're the only political party that's accomplished almost their entire platform. Founded in 1921, the Communist Party of Canada aims to create a socialist state. Led by Liz Rowley, the party holds forth that the capitalist system of private business ownership can no longer sustain the needs of the people. They purport that socialism, as the only system of government that puts the needs of the people ahead of profits, is the next necessary step in the development of Canada. They wish to instill massive public investment in their Jobs First strategy, which they claim will increase value-added jobs in manufacturing and secondary industry. They claim that they will rebuild and upgrade Canada's public infrastructure, strengthen social programs, and build affordable housing for all. They support raising the minimum wage to $20 per hour and eliminating two-tiered training wages for new employees. The party purports that they will restructure the employment insurance program to provide 90% of earnings to all workers through periods of unemployment, and will extend the same benefits to first-time job seekers. They support a national living wage or guaranteed income, regardless of a person's contribution to society. They also support the immediate withdrawal of Canada from NATO, all United Nations commitments, and an immediate reduction of the military budget by 75%. The party also supports drastic tax reforms and the immediate closure of private or for-profit medical clinics and service providers. Tim Moen leads the Libertarian Party of Canada. The Libertarian Party does not identify as left or right wing, but as centrist. They promote smaller government, lower taxation, and less state involvement in the lives of citizens. They stand for a radical reform of taxation in Canada and advocate for a 15% flat rate tax on all persons regardless of their income. They also seek to repeal all individual and corporate tax credits and seek to establish only 4 tax exemptions, being child, senior, disability, or student, valued at $4,000 each. They promote the cessation of corporate welfare and insist that large companies should be forced to succeed on their own merits. They wish to enshrine individual property rights and seek to legislate eminent domain by eliminating government expropriation of private property. They wish to withdraw Canada from all international conflicts and United Nations commitments, and to reallocate military resources to defending Canada and promoting Arctic sovereignty. They staunchly oppose the criminalization of victimless crimes, like administrative firearms offenses and prostitution, and recognize that the war on drugs has been a colossal failure. Primarily, the party promotes the lessening of state interference in the private lives of law-abiding citizens, and they promote this philosophy with their mantra that, quote, gay married couples should be able to protect their marijuana plants with their guns, end quote. Mexican actor Ricardo Montalban once said that politics are too partisan, and sometimes patriotism is cast aside. Patriotism is the honor and love of your country and your brothers and sisters. With politics, I get the impression that it is all about what's good for the party and not necessarily what's good for the country. In conclusion, it is certainly held true that there is a veritable cornucopia of options contained within the Canadian political landscape. Given our bipartisan system, the likelihood of seeing a party in power other than the Liberal Party or the Conservative Party is indeed fleeting. As preposterous or even abhorrent as some of the aforementioned platform policies may seem to be, we must applaud the convictions of these fringe parties to hold fast to their ideology. The aforementioned Ricardo Montalban sentiment can be held especially true due to the brokerage system that causes parties to delineate from their true ideology and simply promote whatever policies give them a glimpse of power. Many Canadians will remain blind and loyal supporters of their party of choice, often supporting one of the 5 mainstream parties, and will refuse to stray from that party out of a fear of splitting the vote. Even more disenfranchised and apathetic voters will simply not cast their ballot, believing that their single vote does not make a difference. Simply imagine if every voter who casted a strategic ballot, or did not cast a ballot at all, voted in line with their convictions instead of trying to stop the other party from winning. Only then would we see a substantial change in Canadian politics. Thank you for watching my presentation, and have a great day.